What's up, you awesome tactical peeps out there? Turn-based Anashi here. Today we will be reviewing a very unique turn-based game, even possibly the only one of its kind. This video is going to be in a trilogy of retro turn-based games. Yes, this game that we'll be reviewing today is quite damn old. Before we start, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are so close to the big 250 subscribers. And if there is a game you would want me to review, put it in the comments. Let's dive into the review. The year is 2004. People playing the good old PlayStation 2. Plenty of good games came out that year. GTA San Andreas, Metal Gear Solid 3, Tony Hawk Underground, Ninja Gaiden, and others. During that same year, a game called Shaman King Power of Spirit released on December 3rd. Shaman King Power of Spirits comes from the anime Shaman King. Shaman King was a pretty popular anime, especially in Japan. The manga series, written and illustrated by Hiroyuki Take, hope I pronounced that right, Shaman King was in the Weekly Shonen Jump from 1998 to 2004 and had a huge following. The anime series, produced by Xebec, aired from 2001 to 2002 and consisted of 64 episodes. Although the anime ended in 2002, the manga was still going strong in 2004, with the final volume being published in October of that year. In terms of sales, the manga series was a commercial success, with over 38 million copies in circulation by March 2021. And because of the anime, this is the only reason why me and my brother even got this game. When we were kids, obviously. Honestly, I'm not sure what my exact first turn-based game was, between Shaman King, Final Fantasy X, and Pokemon Yellow version. But anywho, during this review, I'll explain exactly why this game is in a league of its own. The gameplay is crazy. So if you have played turn-based games, you pretty much get the point how battles go. You might get a small scene of your ally attacking an enemy, or it will change to third person or stay at top view. But in this game, you actually have to fight your opponents. And I mean like fisticuffs fights.
Round one, fight!
This game combines turn-based combat of today while adding in a 2D fighter, even with its own technique list. Now, not everyone goes to this 2D fighter mode. Only the main character, Gyo Asakura, can do this. But he can fight alongside an ally in this 2D fighter mode. Another unique thing is two allies can fight together against the enemy as long as they are close by each other while you're deciding who attacks who. This also works when you play as Yo. There can be up to 3 enemies at once. There are like 9 playable characters in this game, each one with an ability you can use prior to engaging an enemy. Some can heal, others can raise their defense or attack, some can even use abilities to weaken or even take out enemies prior to engaging with them. But using that ability in specific will end that character's turn. What you can and can't do is a little weird. If you attack with a long range ability, that will end that character's turn. But you can use however many items you want. I literally just healed everybody back to 100% when I was on my last character for the turn. Like, the fact that you can only use that ability once character's turn end, but I can use an infinite number of items is wild. There's also an interesting feature, the provoke system, so you can only use it once per character. This was a very useful feature, because when you provoke an enemy, during your turn, they will move closer to whoever provoked them. It helps a lot with breaking down enemy groups. It helped me a shit ton. There are only like 3 enemy types. Each one has an upgraded color. Like in the beginning of the game, they're all green. Then later they're yellow, and towards the end of the game, they're red. Quite a few bosses. There's like 11 bosses. 5 of those will just be like stronger enemies in other stages. And then other stages, there'll be bosses. They kind of get bounced around. Now, I've played a few fighting games, from Naruto to Tekken to Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, sprinkle in a little bit of Marvel vs. Capcom. This game was pretty hard plenty of times. For a game this old, it was surprisingly hard. I had to do some very scammy ass things.
Oh hell nah, time for me to start scamming on this one. Impossible! Wow, I see how it is. Man, shut up, I don't care.
It does that thing I don't like, which is when a character is downed, they don't get any XP when you clear that stage. So your characters can fall behind very easily, and trying to catch them up is a pain in the ass. Ryu got behind, and I wanted him to last hit the final boss for a huge XP boost, because in this game, if you defeat the enemy, like if you actually defeat the enemy as the character, they are the ones who get most of the experience. So again, trying to have Ryu get the last hit was a pain in the ass because the AI is just something else, man. Ryu, please just kick him or something. Kick him in the balls or something for me, please. Please get him. Like, he's weak enough. Just, bro, how the fuck are you gonna go from health to no health? Wow. The story is interesting and short. I think it's around like 8 to 10 hours. If you didn't watch the anime, you'll be a tad bit lost at some points. One of the main characters, Lin, is kind of rushed into the story, and in the anime, there was a big deal with getting him into the group, and he has a sister that you would know about if you watch the anime. She literally just pops up at random, like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, sister. I mean, like, the game does an okay job at catching you up, but it's just like, hey man, I need you caught up now. I needed you caught up yesterday. But again, it does a good job if you didn't watch the anime. But obviously it helps a lot if you did. The story in the game follows the anime to a certain point, and then it deviates into its own different story. I was mildly invested. I mean, the main story is you play as Yo Asakura, who wants to be the Shaman King, a being whom can shape the world however they see fit, either creating a time of peace or basically ravaging the lands. You're Shaman King, you can do whatever the hell you want. So Yo Asakura enters the Shaman King tournament. During the second phase of this tournament, a friend named Meryl is kidnapped, and you spend the rest of the game trying to save her. There were no shocker moments in this game. I mean, it comes down to the same thing. If you watched the anime, then you pretty much know what's coming. And if you didn't, I guess there's like 1 or 2 shocker moments. This game has some very, very funny moments. When it comes to character development, there are definitely some. Lin and Lyserg specifically. Lin went from screw all you guys and your mamas to like he is definitely part of the team. Lyserg opens up about his feelings and stuff whatnot later in the game. See, Yo Asakura does that crap where even though he's fighting people trying to kill him, he doesn't want to kill because he's Yo Asakura and he's nice and all that stuff. I mean, you miss me with that. If you're an enemy of mine, I'm taking you down, bro. You trying to kill me? You miss me with that one. The only reason to replay this game is if you saved over your first save file at the ending of the game, like after you cleared it. There are 2 different endings. So like I said before, this game is mostly about you saving Meryl. So at the end, final boss, there's this demon that takes control over her, and if you try to do damage to that demon outside of combat, you'll see like 2 health bars, the demon's and Meryl's, and when you do damage to it, Meryl's health bar decreases faster than the monster. And if her health bar reaches 0, the game ends, you get a cutscene, you get some dialogue. You should, after that, just load up the last save, which should be the final chapter, and then you basically beat the final boss without getting Meryl's health bar to go down, which Yo Asakura is the only one who can do that because you get some interesting spear later in the game. He's the only one who can do damage to the demon without doing damage to Meryl, which means you can't bring an ally with you to the fight. on the final boss, because your ally might get a last shot in and basically take down Meryl instead of taking down the demon. So you pretty much have to fight it alone. This boss pisses me off. It pissed me off. Let me get the fuck up. Damn. There really aren't any missed opportunities, but there are some weird ass things about this game. Like, the game will always ask you, like, are you sure you want to fight this enemy? It will always give you the option to say yes and no when you engage with an enemy or with an enemy engages with you. The only reason you would say no is just to change out who is fighting. But it will even give you the option to say no if you have, let's say, one character, right, and the enemy engages with that one character. They will ask you, are you sure you want to fight? And if you put no, they're just going to engage with you again, and then the game's going to ask, are you sure you want to fight? Like, there's no way you cannot get out of the fight. So it's like, why do you even give me the option at this point in time? There's nothing you can do except fight. Just another thing that I just found weird. It's not anything bad, just weird. This game also has another weird thing with its save slots. There are 50 save slots in this game. This game itself only has 20 damn chapters. Even if you have one save file per chapters, you still have 30 save files left. I don't know who they thought was going to be playing this game that needed 50 fucking save slots. Like, you would have to, I don't know, it would have to be you and a friend, and both of y'all saved each chapter on a different save slot, and then you still have 10 left. Like, I don't know why they have so many damn save slots. And it's like 50 save slots per memory card, and you can have 2 memory cards. Again, not bad, just weird. It's just weird. And then the last odd thing I have to talk about in this game is that this game has a versus mode. And that's interesting, but also odd, because in this versus mode, obviously you should be able to play player 1 versus player 2. But commonly, you should also be player 1 versus computer. They don't have that. It's only player 1 versus player 2. And at first I was like, I mean, was it a common thing back in PS2 days? And then I remembered all the hours I spent playing Dragon Ball Budokai 3, and it's mostly about fighting computer, so it's like, yeah, that was definitely a normal thing to fight computer during that time period. So I'm not sure what the hell they were thinking. I mean, they just thought, I don't know, 2 people were just going to be going at it all day, every day on this game. Again, it's just a weird ass thing about this. You have a versus mode, but you can't fight computer. Like, if you bought this game, you by yourself, and you don't have any friends or family to play with, versus mode is just straight pointless. Shaman King Power of Spirit is the only one of its kind, at least that I know about, that combines turn-based combat with a 2D fighter. And it would be so fire if another game were to do something like that. This game is very short, especially during your second playthrough, because you're pretty much skipping all the dialogue, probably talking about 6 to 7 hours. The game has some pretty funny moments, character development is decent, gameplay is pretty good. I would give this game a 7.5 out of 10. The game is super short. Honestly, I'm not sure why you would play it a second time again, unless you, for some reason, out of the 50 save slots, you oversaved your last save file for some reason at the end of the game, and you have to sadly play from the beginning to the end for a second ending. And if you did that, you're on your own. Good luck. I don't know why you would do that. On a side note, I do plan on playing 3 retro turn-based games. This is one out of those 3, Shaman King Power of Spirits, and then I'm going to play Final Fantasy X and the Lord of the Rings game. Those 3 I plan on playing and reviewing, If y'all have any retro turn-based games you want me to review, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any turn-based games generally that you want me to review, put those in the comments as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Love you guys. Peace out, you awesome tactical peeps.